Hey there. Let's talk a little bit about intuition. Specifically, I want to read a passage to you from Florence Scovel Shinn's The Game of Life and How to Play It. She has an entire chapter on intuition. She says, "Speak the word and then do not do anything until you get a definite lead. Demand the lead, saying, 'Infinite Spirit, reveal to me the way. Let me know if there is anything for me to do.'" So I have told you on other days that I am in the middle of a 30-day YouTube challenge to get over the mountain that I have made out of YouTube. And this is day 4. The point of this whole thing is that I just make them, that I don't overthink it, that I don't overplan it, that I don't agonize over it, that I just make them. And I was led to this. My intuition told me, hey, do a 30-day YouTube challenge like yesterday. And as today, the day that this is being filmed is September 1st. That gives a perfect 30 days in September. Now, I don't always start things on the perfect time. I often start them in the middle of the week or just whenever it happens. So I don't think you need to start something on the 1st to make it go in this perfect sequential order, but it's always lovely when it does that. And so my intuition was telling me, do a YouTube challenge. Like, do the challenge. This is how you've done it in the past when you've been trying to get regular with posting in different places, is you've done this big challenge and it has helped you get over that hump and stop overthinking it and just get things out and not overanalyze it. And so that's what I'm doing, right? I had the thought yesterday, and after I had the thought, I had multiple situations where things showed up for me about 30-day challenges. And I was like, oh, this is like showing me that this is the way, right? This is revealing to me the way. I feel like I need to do a 30-day challenge. This has worked for me in the past. And now I'm seeing things talking about 30-day challenges. I was like, okay. And this morning I was like, I'm just too busy. I'm not going to do it. I have other things that I'm trying to do right now. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And immediately after that, I found someone talking about having started something by doing a 30-day challenge. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do this 30-day challenge. And that's why I am filming multiple videos in one day today, because I know that I can't just do a video every single day. But the point of this is just to post a video every single day and start getting some feedback and working through it. Get comfortable talking on camera again. Get comfortable coming up with topics to talk about. And it's funny because I have recorded like 3 or 4 of these now back to back, and it feels quite easy to find something to talk about. When you're trying to do something just every now and then, I think there's this perfectionism that comes in and gets in the way. And it's like, oh, is that what you want to talk about today? Or maybe you want to talk about this, or maybe this. And when you're doing a lot of something, you just are like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm just going to talk about something. And so I feel like I was guided. My intuition was telling me to do this 30-day challenge. That way I would stop having YouTube as something on my to-do list and instead be able to move it over to my doing list, right? My active, like, this is just something that I do. This is an ongoing thing. At the end of the 30 days, I'll probably drop down to once a week, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I will have made it feel so easy that I'll do it a couple of times a week. But I'm definitely, what I'm looking for in doing this challenge is seeing what works, seeing what people respond to, seeing, hopefully meeting some of you who are out there watching. I have really been craving depth and conversation lately, so I would love to hear from you, like actually for real. And but mostly it was just about like getting set up and just doing this. And my intuition told me to. And I think that when your intuition tells you to do something, you do it, even if it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it doesn't make a whole lot of sense and you don't know why. In fact, my family traveled for 4.5 years in an RV. If you go back and watch the old videos on this channel, you will see us in a couple of different places during our travels. We were in our RV at that point in time. And when we went to get the RV, when we made that choice, that decision that we were going to live in an RV and travel full time, it made no sense. It just didn't. There was nothing about our life that said we could do that, but we decided we were going to do it anyway. And we didn't really know what that meant. We didn't know what we should do, but we knew that if we were going to do it, one thing that we would have to do that we had the ability to do right then was to get rid of most of our stuff. Like our goal was actually 75%. We ended up getting rid of like 90% of our stuff, but we knew that that was something we would have to do to make that a reality. And that was something that we could do. So that was our first step. And that's where we started, because you've got to start where you are. You can't start where you're not yet. Like it just isn't possible. No matter how much you want to, you can't start in a place that you're not currently sitting. You have to start where you are, right? That journey begins with one step. And the step, whatever that step is, has to be a step you can take. If it's like the 10th step, well, that's too big of a step, right? You've just got to take that first step. And so that first step for us at that point in time was to downsize our stuff. And so we started there. And that ended up being a huge process, but it was a process that set things in motion because we showed that we were serious about it. And at some point, we decided we were going to get a school bus, and my partner flew to another state. We found one. We were going to transform it into a little house for us. My partner flew to another state to go and get it. And needless to say, it didn't work out. We didn't get it. Like all kinds of things went wrong. I don't need to go in the whole big story, but because he flew out to get it and didn't, he ended up sharing something that somebody saw and they were like, wait, what are you doing? And then they said, don't go buy that bus. I have an RV and you can have it. We could not have planned for someone to give us an RV. That was never a plan. It wasn't possible for us to make that plan because you can't count on things like that. But we wanted to do a thing. We made the decision. We started taking the steps. And then we took the next best step, which I can only think that it was probably an intuitive type thing to do, right? We were following our intuition a little bit on this journey that we had no idea how it was going to work out. And because we followed that, we ended up in a situation where someone saw us and saw what our need was and provided for that need. And it was a win-win because he was like, now I don't have to store it anymore because I'm not using it and I don't want to use it, but I hadn't sold it. And so we had our house for the next 4.5 years and it was wonderful. But it couldn't have happened without us having followed these intuitive hunches. So you've just got to step out and follow the hunches as they come. Somewhere in this lovely book by Florence Scovel Shinn, she says something about never ignore a hunch. She often talks about intuition and about when you have an intuition to do something, follow it no matter what, because it might be that, I think she even tells a story about going into a shop and she had a hunch to go into a shop. She didn't need anything in the shop. And she even went and she almost didn't do it, but she was like, no, but I have this hunch. I like need to go do it. And so she did. And she went in the shop and she's like, nope, I don't need anything in here. And it was coming back out of the shop. She was placed in the position to see an old friend, someone she hadn't seen in a long time. And then she was able to help her with something. So it was like her intuition had led her to this place so that she would be there for the friend, not because she needed to be in the place, not because she needed anything in the shop. Sometimes intuition puts us in places that don't make sense and that seem like mistakes or like it didn't work or like that didn't do anything. But because of that step, it puts us in the right position for something later on down the line that we can't foresee, right? It's something that our limited viewpoint can't foresee, but it's like it's being lined up for us in these beautiful ways. So, tell me a story about a time that you followed your intuition and what happened. I would love to hear your stories for sure. Or is there an intuition that you have right now? Do you have a hunch about something that you need to go do? I want to hear about it. What is it? And are you going to do it? And how does it work? Come back and tell me how it works once you've done it. So this was day 4 of my 30-day YouTube challenge, and I will see you back again tomorrow. Bye.